Never before have I met an Adiran man so hesitant to speak his mind.
Okay, YouTube recording started. I forgot to do that. All we did was go talk to Curran and turn west. That's all that happened. So.
I'm not hesitant. I just, like to consider my words carefully.
You should really hear yourself talk, amigo.
Okay, that's I figured. So it's not really much of a spoiler. I have to complete quest that I'm actually going to do right now. So. There's Deerford Village. Flag's compass is that way. Please mention abandoned farm on the. I don't know if I click on Deerford, I would just end up going there. But let's find out. Yeah, so I'll have to go to those here. Anyway. On your own business. Cooling our heels until Medris says the job. Elf idles by the road, watching the village across the river. He nods as you approach, and the cow figure standing near.
Hail, traveler.
Greetings, friend. I've heard of you. Word has it you've been busy in Defiance Bay. Busy too, and eager to finish my business and get back to the city. You heard? There's murder on the loose. Said to have gone mad with grief and strangled a dozen healthy children when her own was hollow-born. Boy, come all the way from Defiance Bay to bring her. Hiding out in the village, we'd go in after her ourselves, but the problem is, she knows our faces. No telling what she'd do if she saw us coming, and we like to avoid any further unnecessary blood. Her name's Ifri, she's in Orlan. We wanted to get her out of town so that we can deal with her cleanly. She knows what we're looking for, but if someone were to convince her that it's safe to... That's on the Crucible Knights. The powers that be want to keep things quiet for obvious reasons. Better not to cause a fuss, and certainly better not to startle her to... That woman is like that is everybody's problem, friend. Just keep an eye out. If you come across her, remember that what I told you. I promise I'll make it.
Gods keep you.
Do. Responsible for the murder of all those babies in Defiance Bay.
Hail and well met.
And Nifri and Lou are out to do. I don't trust the situation.
Out with you! I already told you what... I'm sorry. I thought you were one of those ruffians. How may I help you? I never saw their faces. Strange, hooded men asking about those ruins. Cleoban Relag.
No, that just happens to be where I need to go.
The brigands who come through here asking about the ruins are looking for a few ancient trinkets. But these people knew the name, and they were in a hurry. They wanted to know where Cleoban Relag was. I tried to keep it from them, but I couldn't hold out forever. I don't know what they were up to, but it can't be good.
Does sound like the Laden Key, doesn't it? Yeah, it probably is. What else I can help you with?
The Glanfathan tribe that guards the ruins will kill anyone who trespasses there. And they'll retaliate against us, too, if history is any indication. We've had too many fortune seekers stir up trouble of late. If I'm to tell you, I'll need to know your reason for wanting to go. If that's the case, then we may already have trouble headed our way. I'll have to take you at your word. You'll find Cleoban Relag here. Whatever trouble you find there, please end it quietly and try to stay out of the ruins.
Folk here tend to keep to themselves, as they do in most towns this deep in the wood. They're suspicious of travelers, but with all the brigands and refugees moving through the area who can... Whereas it's the most universal of all the gods that oversees portals and cycles of all kinds, even life and death itself. Under Bereth, and ending is passage to the beginning. Bereth has many representations across time and across cultures. Wood, you'll come to see it depicted as a pallid knight, or the Glanfathans, however, know it as Unin, the Anku, and Anku. One of the youngest manifestations of Bereth, but a familiar one nonetheless. Stories describe her as a gaunt knight in black armor with black eyes, black hair, and pale skin. Demands an impossible toll for the travelers who have carried too long on our lords. Some challenge her only to slay themselves in the process. Kids have written stories, songs, and poems that are the usher for centuries. Sometimes he's folk, sometimes dwarf, and sometimes merely a walking skeleton. He speaks, but he guides the way to death and then life. He also creates the circumstances the wayward stumble into their own life and death and life, respectively. See them as two skeletal figures, one male and one female. Explorers have found them carved opposite one another in doorways, but I know of no particular legends that... Wouldn't trust me with more. Wow. Poor guy doesn't get trusted with anything, huh?
Hail and well met.
The odds, stuck in this backward, will only meet the famed champion of Defiance Bay. Varys' wheel brings mercy to... Perhaps you could help. I don't suppose you saw a young elven nobleman on the road. I'm stuck in this place with the rest of my unit. Lady Alis, she did our Lord Nestor Heron gone missing. Go speak with Lord Heron at the inn. Grateful for the assistance. Villagers, could be the villagers will open up to you. Us.
You seem preoccupied with details, Alaf. Almost consumed by them, I'd say.
Once you've seen a colleague misuse Archimere's capricious hex, you learn an appreciation for details.
This sounds like wizard talk, so I'll just take your word for it.
Man paces angrily in front of a wrecked animal pen, his sun-weathered face twisted with ire. He's so wrapped up in his fury that he doesn't seem to notice you. Galloway's slobbering beast, blazing bloody effigy, thrice-damned salty wench and her soggy... Her soggy what? That monster stole my pigs, traced into the village, tore down my pen, and made off with the whole damned herd. Just left a few little runts, and what am I supposed to do with them? The ogre moved in the area not long ago. Folk had been seeing glimpses and tracks out of the wood, but it seemed to be staying away from town, so we all thought until it made off with my pigs. Now everyone's afraid it's going to develop a taste for kith, if it hasn't already. Can do. And it's too late to get my pigs back, but it had set my mind at ease to see that thing's head shorn from its neck. In fact, you bring its ugly pate to me. I trade you for something that's of less use to a farmer like me, a rowdy-looking sort like yourself. What do you know about it? Same as any other, I'm sure. A big ugly son of a bitch with an temper and an appetite to... Brygil could tell you more. He claims to have seen it in the wood. Found him in his shop, right by the broken tower. Never heard of it. Right. Wondrous arms and arms. Middle-aged peasant woman is dressed in a brown... She's got a picture, so she must be important. Dressed in a brown leather cloth draped down to her knees, her hands are working at separating stringy colorless vegetables in a pile before her, stripping the heads off long fibrous stems. She describes the stems one by one, placing the heads of the vegetables into a small cradle-like basket in front of her. She doesn't greet you as you approach. Not sure. When doesn't respond, she keeps stripping the heads from the... At first glance, she seems nothing more than a middle-aged woman, unremarkable. Maybe less stern than most, who seems more focused on her surroundings. You suddenly notice not stripping the vegetables before her any longer. She's bleeding. Spots are now. No pays you no mind, her brown locks torn and snagged from lack of washing. Many of the townsfolk you've seen. There's a strange blur to her. The motions of her hands seem to be playing with threads that lack color, and a shape that lacks. Maybe that she is half-minded or deaf, but something feels wrong. Watch her new cadence. Terrible suspicion that something what your eyes are showing you. Brown hair is long, almost impossible to the length of her hands. As you follow the streams of her locks downwards, the hairs become long, black, splitting off black and silver. She's forming a soul cradle with the threads braiding a net in front of you. Each finger long and sharp with a series of new, almost hypnotic. The silver and black strands of her hair weave together, with silver predominating as a highlight, the black shadowing it. Though you are calm, you are on a plateau almost the height of a tower several stories high. The plateau is like a table lying beneath a clear sky, and beneath the plateau surrounded by forest hazy. Although, whether it is actual mist or distant or a recollection. Resting in the curve of a natural arc above you is a great copper bell, half again the size of a hanging out of tension as if looking down for you. The plateau is soaked in the sun, the rock beneath you is rough and warm. The sky forms a cradle around you. You feel different, not disembodied, but you feel your body, your physical along with the surroundings. You're on. Hear a soft series of chimes. Chime. A sound scene gains color and texture. The sound is beckoning forth, filling your thoughts, like mist rolling softly into. Time coaxes you into the memory. Certain is a warm one. You're on the stone of the plateau, your knees on the warm texture of the ground, silver, white, shimmering like Daedra. The plateau is formed of a glistening sun. You can feel the heat on your skin, your wrists, and your hands are in motion. weaving, not thread, but gathering, tenderly moving along the first movements of Varus' wheel. Your hands are wet. Hands are upon the flesh of a newborn child, and you can feel the crowning of a tiny head slick wet. Hands you are wearing, inhabiting, have done this many times, and they are practicing confidence. You feel distant pains in your own head as the head emerges, fluid from the helping the newborn slide forth and a breathing. As your hands move, you hear the sound of chimes, clear, cutting through the haze of memory. You cannot see where they are coming from, but they are close, and the comfort of that you are certain. Child forth. Close by your hands, every movement causing the chimes to sound again. Eagerly, the child comes forth, and as it does, your hands begin weaving. Moving along the length of a soft, wet rope, umbilical cord from the latents of the naked before you, you are holding a small child still wet from the womb before you. The child cries out, its cry full of life, full of soul, the ringing of chimes echoing in its thoughts, filling it with its welcome. The soul is blurred at the edges, as if you are viewing a soul from within a soul, but it is there, it is alive. The womb before you is weeping, and at her first cry, her hand turned the child to her, something you have done many times before, and as your hands move, the chimes echo the movement, and you realize the chimes are hanging from cords on your where once they echoed in the memory, they are now echoing in the child's mind. The chimes are intended to welcome the child, first gentle greeting in the world, a soothing sound guided by the tender motions of your. You are helping to weave its thoughts, perceptions, experience. The woman laughs with a ragged joy, laughing from a parched throat. Her emotions seem soothed, but the physical demands of labor have left her exhausted. The child is here, the child is safe, and on top of the plateau is peaceful, calm, distant, flattening out as the this. With ever the scene bleeds of color, and your mind becomes your own again. Full, no anchor. Yet the sound of the chimes remains. They exist in the memory. The sound here as well, and they are hanging from woven braids on the wrists of the one before you. Even as your head is spinning from the touch of her mind, the sound of the chimes in her sharp and clear, is as if coaxing you back to the world. The woman still sits before you, but she is nothing like what you first saw. She is wearing black, shredded garments that drape over her form like whereas streaks of black and with silver. Her age is almost impossible to tell. She simply feels old, like a crumbled tower. She lifts her head to face you. You see that her hair is draped across the front of her face like a veil. What you first saw of her was a mental glamour of some sort, unconscious. You realize what you see is not what the world sees. You are perhaps the first to see her true self. Still, you don't sense a threat in the realization. If anything, you feel a sense of relief from the figure. You can hear her thoughts and had to at last be seen.
I am seen, but the eyes of others do not remember. You are the first to see me as I am, the call stripped aside.
There's a light touch on your mind, a caress, and her left hand mirrors the motion of the touch, reaching up the air between. You hear the chime on her wrist sound softly. Her hand moves as if timing resting on her cheek in the distance, softly and slowly.
Memories. A cadence of wheels in a caravan track. Fever. Questions by running water. Violence in a night's campfire, arrows in the dark, and fleeing. Falling rock and cracking stone, and a storm. The storm. The storm that brushed you. Did its screaming wake you from your mind's cradle? Your memory of it is painful. Its cry is difficult to ignore. It's like a child. Many children crying out.
And withdraws shyly, the chime sounding softly once again. The woman stands uncertainly as if she has been sitting for some time, but was too weak to bear her own weight. You notice her cheekbones are tight, her face gaunt. Yet while her stance is weak, she seems determined.
You are able to see me.
Almost a question. You suddenly realize she doesn't seem to know what you saw when you looked at her. The image on the plateau, yet the image was so clear, so sharp. You
To see me is a rare gift, a watcher's gift. So many questions, thoughts whirling like storm winds. That storm still roars through you, deep like an underground river. I cannot tell if it is carving new channels or eroding what keeps your true strength buried. The fact that you could hear it at all, survive it, is something few have ever done. Your power will grow stronger with each soul you touch, as it allowed you to reach out to mine.
There's silence, and all it seems to last for but a heartbeat. In your thoughts, it stretches out out between the two of you, like a pull between your minds. Blink, take a breath, and then you realize she wants to ask you a question, but can't form the words, as if assembling them is painful, or there simply are not enough. Feel a wave of fear, gusted with the strength of relief, although oddly, her expression does not change. Then fear dissipates, and you feel strength and certainty. The plateau from her memory lies beneath. The calm sky looks down upon you. A name. Cipher.
Farewell. Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
Now let's fractured volition puppet. Those are target's psychic defense file, leaving them dominated by the cipher for the phantom foes, recall ag. Right.
As you wish.
She has shows a scarred and stained from decades of use. Portrait depicts a man and a woman dressed in Aedir garb that would have been in style a century ago. The heavy frame has been battered, and the plate that once bore the patron's name has been scratched out. Their passionate embrace, which the cause of the disgust in their faces.
I just want to find her. Surely even you can understand that.
We're decent folk.
Good day, stranger.
My lord. Perhaps you should leave and check the wilds.
First time at the Draco Kogan? I don't know. Normally I'd have a song ready, but I haven't quite worked out this tune yet. I'm writing some chants about the founding of this inn. Say, you interested in the story? I haven't finished the chants, but I can tell you about the thing. Sure, why not? Rolls her golden eyes, exhales for an excessively long time to her. Still in time of Hadrit's rebellion, an Aedirian lady they knew once a key here. The tower still stands, but the rest is said to be buried in the village. Anyway, she stuck to the side of the empire, and Duke had the Crucible helped the farmers and colonists in the rubble. This inn was the first building that sprang up from the ruin, built with some of the same bricks the colonists had pulled from Lady Thanu's house, or castle. Okay. Supposedly, the quarterstaff of her chief wizard even got lost in the construction, mortared into a wall, or nailed under a floorboard. Anyway, the inn was supposed to be a haven and meeting place while the locals built their new town. What do you mean supposed to be? Your Woodens are an orny lot, and the more than these new neighbors met, the more they argued. Realized they didn't agree on much beside ousting the old. The biggest divide was over the Glenfathans and their Hadred's knights and their supporters wanted to keep peace, but a group of misfits with more anarchic leanings that had formed in town wanted to go after the tribes the same way they'd gone after their lords. The villagers were fighting with each other as much as. In the end, memories of the Broken Stone War and the War of Black Trees were fresh enough that the Duke's soldiers won the day. Most of the other villagers came around eventually, but some of the core troublemakers left to join the front lines of the War of Defiance, and others, I've heard, found their way into the guided compass, the most forward-looking of the Glenfathan tribes. I don't know if I believe that part myself, but it makes a good story. Portrait of one of the chief rabble-rousers and his rival in the peacekeeping faction. Someone's idea of a joke. I don't think they're particularly... First major war between the original Deeren settlers and Glenfathans. Arm was knocked over an Adra men here that was part of the Gwithin. Started back in the colonial days, almost 30 years after Broken War. Graf is the governor of the colony and is subservient of it. A brutal slave uprising. I think this is just backstory, and that isn't particularly necessary. No? You're not gonna let me talk to you? There we go. The man wears Ader-style robes, simple but elegant. His fine leather shoes looks like they were made for padding around indoors, yet they're caked with mud. He looks at a lock of hair twined around his silver gloved finger.
My child is out there. Do they not understand?
My lord, we're doing everything we can. Unfortunately, these villagers...
Beasts take them all. I don't care how you do it, but find her. Yes, Lady Alice. My daughter. I've asked around, but nobody in this mud hole has any concerns beyond their swine. They turn my men away like beggars and seem downright pleased to be of no use. But you're not one of my soldiers. And you look like you're used to getting your hands dirty, if you don't mind my saying so.
My lord, this is a man of books. If you find her, tell her I won't be upset with her. She can come back and all will be well. I just want to make sure my child is safe. Nothing in the world is more important to me.
Alice. Of course.
Striking young woman, bears more resemblance to his mother than to me. She has auburn hair and delicate, well-bred features. She must be 28 or 29 now. Wow. So she's, an adult. Okay. We stopped in Deerford for a few days. On our fourth evening here, I was making plans to continue our journey. Lady Elise was feeling unwell and went to bed. When I returned a couple hours later, I found that she had vanished. And no one at the inn knew where she was. Then my people have been combing the village, but we've yet to find a clue, and no help. Nearly a stop along the way to Aina's rest. However, she took ill. Lady Elise has reached an age where it is prudent for her to marry. Oh, so she didn't want to get married, so she ran away. Given this legacy business, I can't let her fertile years slip by, nor do I want her womb to fester in the presence of so many homes. Gamer or New Yarma. I think I haven't considered that. Arranging a suitable match is difficult. The best prospects for my child lay in rest. Where's the rest of your family? Lady Heron is ill-suited for travel, I'm afraid, and unfortunately, Elise has fewer other relatives. Husband, Elise's aunt and uncle, of course, have been passed on. As for siblings, Elise has none. My it's Hollowborn.
A petty, small-minded man, just like the rest of them around here. I've been paying him an honest fee for board and bed, and yet he can't be bothered to stir himself to concern for my Alice.
I'm hoping you can help. I should never trust these people around my child.
I'm Lord Nestor Harrond of Defiance Bay. My family has been prominent there since Imperial times. Our primary estate is on the outskirts of Brackenbury, but we have holdings in New Haomar as well. Those went to my sister and her husband.
It's here for information.
Greetings.
Assuming travelers these days, something I can do for you? Folk around here is decent. They mind their own business. You want to stick your nose in it? Go talk to him yourself. His lordship says she went up and went missing the other day. I don't know any more than that. However, these alerting bastards handle their affairs. Ain't no business of mine. Some coppers away. My pay come from an honest day's work. Enough for me and should be enough for anyone. You're just like that lord, rattling your purse like a fit to buy you the leave of God's kith. Look, I don't want no trouble from you or him or anybody else. I'm just waiting for him to tire of my ale and loose so things can get back to normal. She was benevolent too. That girl, Elise, she was looking to disappear. You could have seen her watching the door like a sheep at slaughter. All the same, she didn't hardly speak to no one. The only folk I seen and talked to is Tyrgul. Shops by the broken tower. Bit of a hothead, that one. My advice is to let the matter drop. Like I say, it don't profit to dig around another. Witchy lady, that one. There, it's perfect. Walk from one bridge to the next and you've seen it. Alright. Be a castle here. Yeah. Not many anymore. Regal. Courier, huh? There makes armor and a few other goods with it. In the story, lady's a clever hand with potions and pulses. Winfrith, around even longer than I have. Nice enough fellow, but never could find his way to the end of his sentence. Rumbald's pigs. Ogre carried them off. Of course not. Why would they come here? We got bandits on the road and an ogre in the forest. That's a yapping fool Rumbald to tell you. Worse yet, hasn't been a healthy child born here in over a year. Most kith that come here is just passing through. You don't hardly see him this close to town. Ogres and kith don't mix well. Ugly bastards, but they're smart enough to know that much. Want to know more? Talk to Rumbald. Alright, what rooms do you have? Here you close your window if you're on the side facing Tricle's shop. Let's go for the most expensive one, why not? I got plenty of money. What are you doing in the kitchen? Then go get you sorted. Alright. Get out. I'll get out of your kitchen. So who's this? Oh, it's the soul. Oh, the Orlan hovers by the window, peering out of it every few seconds. As you enter the room, she watches you carefully, her hand hovering over her stiletto. She puts her head to peer behind you. It'll follow you. Who sent you? Let me guess. Was that someone named Medrith? It's a lie, plain and simple. I got on the wrong side of his employers, and now he's after me. But if you're here to do his dirty work, I won't make it easy on you. Just came to talk. What story? The Dominals came after me. Dominals. I just happened to rob the wrong place. How was I supposed to know they'd already claimed it? It's an honest mistake. I'm just trying to survive now. Spoke with Medrith. You know where he's waiting. Please help me get out of here. Yeah, I'll help her get out. Alright, I'm trusting you. Don't have much choice. See if you can send him the other way. Buy me some more time. Painting portrays the expansive foothills below the mountains of forested ravine somewhere in the living room. Gold borders, which I just read, mean backer. So the souls are backers.
I'll see it done. It's finished. I'll see it done. It's finished.
Alright, let's go talk to Medrith. We'll go talk to Trigil.
Gods keep you.
Found Niffer yet? I'm ready to get out of here.
Walk into the club like, what up? Where's the pizza?
Hey! 50 Fiddle! Thanks for the 2 months with that Prime. Call me a cutie. Oh. Well, thank you. How you doing? How you doing? I'm a lie. Did she now? And how would you have known that? Oh boy. Oh, I don't have enough resolve. Crap. Don't worry, I'll catch up to her right after I take care of you. But you ain't catching. Oh, dude. You just done made a mistake. You done for now, son.
Your thought.
What else we got? What other fun stuff do we have? Oh, not a focus? Require. Oh, you got. Okay. I hope you enjoy that. Yes, I just set a bunch of my own people on fire, but whatever.
As you wish.
Feeling the strain.
Just like an adherent to go down fast.
Boy, look at all this stuff. Alright, let's see. Use one-handed stuff. Oh, so that was 18. More accuracy. Use two. Yeah, it doesn't look like. Alright, that's done. There was another. Move on relog. Oh, okay. Now I have to go to Cleave on relog. Okay. My first encounter with a dream moment on the road, I experienced a dream. a memory. Well, she doesn't
Your
want to
thoughts must flow deep,
talk to me.
indeed. Your mind comes bearing.
Slow chilling for a moment. It seems as she is going to fade from you.
The title came unbidden. I do not know why I spoke of it. Yet it seemed the right mantle, a familiar one.
Not know where it came from, if I've given offense. Hence, forgive me, forgive me. You human woman. I do not know, it is an old feeling, I do not know where it stems from. It was a word that arose when he saw me. It is said, watchers much that others do not, and I am hidden from the eyes of others.
Their eyes see me, but their minds will not remember past the call. My face is like the call of a newborn, hiding the face beneath. And for my body, I am able to wrap myself as a mother cradling her child. I am here, as you see me, but to them, their eyes see only the cloak that I wear, a peasant mother, dirty, shabby, not worth knowing. As a watcher, you see more than others. To the eyes of most, I am as unseen as the spirits you share memories with.
We're at the flow of their senses down a different path to a place easily forgotten, as an unwelcome and desire the presence of others. Because of their minds register a figure, but the memory slips away. They see no desire for conversation, no desire for any.
I do not know. What do you speak of? If you were in my thoughts, I could not feel your presence, nor do I know what you saw there.
Oh, it's because I'm wizard. As she speaks, you suddenly feel an odd sensation in your mind, like walking to a library, a vault of books or grimoires. Suddenly realize that whether she permits it or not, you could enter her dream and observe it without her knowing. There's something about her mind where you could hold it like a book of enchantments, trying each one as you wished. Suddenly you find yourself back in her, your present thoughts. Though you were away for but a moment, she's been aware of your thought. One of your gifts and an ability to walk into memories as easily as someone. And do as it was before when we met. Stop you if I. Memory is as it was, much as forgotten. Walk in my thoughts, I have nothing hidden. Perhaps you may learn something that will strengthen you. Including what has caused this terrible burning of the field of souls and halted. Mind gives way, your passage almost her in mind. Until you are calm. Plateau. Okay, back in the plateau. Oh, alright, I'm going back through. Mixture of curiosity and fear wells up between you. She raises her left hand, the chiming of her wrist, quelling the rise within. Frightened but curiosity.
And what did you see in my memories? I would hear you speak of them.
There's silence, and as your breath falls still, you hear the faint cry of a child in the distance. Exactly like what you in the dream. You listen to the raises both her hands, weaving her. She does so. Semblance of the turning, provided while the newborn was crowning. You're surprised you recognize emotions are new. You use your hands through the air in front of her. The child's cries grow still. The sound of the child's squeeze, almost hypnotic thoughts. The sky seems sharp and clear, and you feel as if you are towering over your surroundings atop a great pillar, just as she did in the moon. You're surprised the grieving mother falls as if her springs were cut and crack hard against the ground. Her ceases to care the child. Ragged voice you hear speak. The voice says that I'm a much older woman than the one before you.
Tell me what you saw. Show me what you saw. Where were you?
Middle of the forest, atop a great plateau. The sky was clear and mist blanketing the kneels before you on the ground. She whispers to you, hoarsely and even fainter in the distance.
The stone of the plateau. Its color. Tell me its color.
Oh crap. I remember, this is what happens when you don't pay attention. I'm getting this wrong. I'm doing it. Not happening. No way. Watch her hands rise before her. She clasps them and cups them, as if feeling them for the first time, when she stares down in the cradle of her hands, and the chimes sound once, twice.
And what did these hands hold?
Here there is a child you are bringing forth in your hand. And take a breath and then a release. Her eyes blur, closed, forming into slits, but a brief glimpse you of her changing expression, rippling pain in her features. She swallows once, twice, and you feel her once again in your thoughts, the rasping husk of her voice swallowed and gone.
It was the birthing bell you saw.
Birthing bell, huh?
Has it been so long? Have I forgotten so much?
Words comes a river of impulses, thoughts as if loose storm breaking down. As your mind wraps the impulses into words, you realize it is your muscles and heart-hardened thoughts relaxing and breathing again. With such an intensity, you almost want to stay back from the flow. But you know the wave of impulses cause questions to float to the surface. One of them is watching.
It is a plateau formed of the spirit stone Audra. At its top is set a great bell, cradled in the reaching arm of the plateau. It stirs in the wind, and it sounds for leagues when struck by kith hands. In distant times, the great bell served as a Glanfathan watchtower, perhaps. Why they abandoned it, I do not know. Other men came in time, settlers, and claimed the tower as their own. I, in turn, claimed it from them. The pillar became a cradle where I could draw new souls into the world. Yes, yet I believe you only saw a small part of the birthing ritual. It is not all in a moment, nor in a day. It is a journey of many years between the child, the mother, and I.
There's much I could do to aid the mother. Some sought the physical comforts of ritual to steady their thoughts, even Audra from the bell. Others would seek advice, words of counsel for the days ahead. I was able to provide drops, tinctures, reading of the child's spirit, all the strength.
The ritual was one of many steps. It took many tens of years to carve them, but always the child's thoughts were there to guide me, from the moment it began to awaken, to the 3 seasons within the mother, to the birthing day, and the years to follow. The child's thoughts, that is where it began.
Huh.
The expectant mother, I could often sense her thoughts, and those of her child, before she could. I would soothe her, free her from the panic of questions. I would sound the memory of the birthing bell atop the plateau in her mind, letting the memory of the vibrations fill my thoughts and hers. Often, the child's soul could hear it too, so the sound of the bell echoed in the mother's thoughts.
Sharing memories and thoughts can bond lives together. That's getting hardships, and most of all is sharing what is. Such shared images can bond souls even tighter and allow them to draw strength from each other. He is channeled away, and the mother and child breathe again. I sound the birthing bells on my wrists and allow the mother to hear the child's thoughts. Swinging in each other. Bells open the way between them, let her feelings pass and feel the child. Here, as I gave a set to the child after delivery, it is a reminder. Bells coax the child forth, so they accompany the child onwards, fastened about the wrists to care for him. Except the magic of Kaladi. The child sought to leave their cradles or escape their they could know that through the warning of the chimes alone. At times, if the bond was strong, so would I. Not watch children, much trouble may be had from child needs them longer, when I no longer can hear them sounding in my spirit has changed. Bonds we share are long gone, getting the last many years, or but a few years. Fragile things in ties of blood and mind may not. They must be watched, and then the body may fail the mind. Wish to feel again.
Many would come seeking their child's future, or a reading into the child's past, the lives its soul is said to have lived. Such things are not mine to see. I meant no offense.
And if it feels like she's not speaking to you, it feels like she's speaking to an audience. The air takes on a curious edge, which persists for a moment. Thought of watchers crosses your mind, you feel a sharp pain, stabbing, the sunburn of lashes across your back and shoulder, and gone, and you feel the grief.
I was something else, but because the title Watcher was cast on me, the word carried a weight I had neither earned nor deserved. The world seems filled with such titles. They distract, I think, from the actions of the person. The world has many corners, and in some corners the name Watcher is more known. It is an easier title than others, and at times it is easier to wear. Placing a title upon what is unknown can dispel the fear of it, and I did not fight it. I even believed it true, though I knew little of the ways of Watchers. It even granted me strength. I was able to see the thoughts of others, shape them, and help guide souls. Watcher seemed enough, and the name seemed to matter little in the light of one's acts. I drew upon the present. I felt the soul of the mother before me, and used that to tell the child's path, to give it a voice. If only the thoughts of the mother and the emotions that lie beneath were mine to impart. I did, and so I used that as the telling of their child's future. Futures fulfilled by one's own spirit are as strong as anything seen by another's eyes. And if one draws from the emotion of the mother, it matters only when harm is done. And their lives I knew well. I could weave their lives, their thoughts over time, to the mother, to the child. And once the child had been born, was sheltered, I could relax the threads of thought until the child could stand on its own. This is my calling, to show them the life I see before them, and even greater, make them believe it. Even the most strongly worded tells may not be enough to save a child and allow it to be born. If I have the strength to strip away the stem of a mother's spite to expose kindness, weave nurturing from disdain and neglect, then that is my calling. And with the weight of Watcher behind my thoughts, these tells gain strength. Strength I never possessed on my own. They believed. And what they believed became the truth. With each child that was set upon that path, the title of Watcher became stronger. You must understand, without such weight upon my words, many lives would have been lost, drowned, cast in the lake beyond the bell. Now the trail to the lake is lost and reclaimed by the forest, as was meant. A Watcher was not there to look over us, but it was a Watcher that saved them. And with a Watcher's strength, children were born, were cared for, and grew strong. What use is a frightened will when a spirit is at stake? Would you let the fears of a mother end her newborn's life? You felt it in the memory, The weight of it, the importance of the child's life. It was a memory we shared.
There's a rasping cry across your consciousness. Your hands, and you see it coming straight from.
A greater good was done, and children were saved. It is a choice you may be forced to make one day, and when faced with it, you will make the same one. This choice is not yours to make, Watcher. You will do as the world needs, as its children need. It is greater than you and your twist of sight. It is because I once...
It was safer in mind, and I see it in me. I did not things. A lot of exposition. You guys want to read it? Free. Pause. Right. Used to read the souls, however, she made that much. Such readings are often segregated based on. We just have to keep carrying on.
As you wish.
Okay, we're actually gonna switch games. I know.